Hello, good to see everybody. Maybe in the new building we'll get these fixed, Wallers. What do you think?
Got the injury report?
Yeah, there's a couple guys.
What's the plan with Isaiah Simmons? Obviously, that's not a rookie minicamp question, but
Yeah, you kind of threw me off a little bit there, Bill. Just to get him in here and, obviously he's going to be in the linebacker room, but I think he's a guy, he's a very talented player and he's played a lot of ball in this league, and just try to get him, acclimated with our system. And the thing that you love about him is he's got a lot of versatility to do a lot of different things. And I know in New York, just when we went against him a couple years ago, specifically situationally, he was all over the place. So I think that just tells you his mental capacity in order to be able to understand defensive schemes. And we had a lot of great conversation with him leading up to him signing with us. And so I know he's working hard at it, and I think we have a vision for him. And we'll just watch and see how that progresses over time.
Were you able to use Xavier McKinney as a reference on him?
We were. Yes. I asked X, and X gave him 2 thumbs up. So that is meaningful, though, when you have a player like X coming from New York who was a teammate with him, and you just ask those questions. And, he said he's a great teammate, and that's all I need to hear.
So Matt, what are the goals for these couple days here with the rookies? Like, what are you trying to get out of it? What do you want them to get out of it?
I really want them. So you just never know where these guys are at physically. I mean, I was just talking to Anthony Belton, and he went on 14 different 30 visits. So it's hard to be in, peak physical condition when you get them in here. So more or less, it's just try to get these guys a taste of what's to come, and kind of knock off the jitters a little bit. All these guys are amped up, and you just want to get them acclimated as fast as possible, because the next time that they're in here, it's going to be phase 2, and they're going to be in with the vets. So we had them work out with our strength staff, the guys, the UDFAs, as well as our draft picks, work out with our strength staff today, and they'll have another workout with our strength staff tomorrow. But we're not doing any full speed football stuff. We'll take them out tomorrow afternoon and on the grass and do like a modified individual period, an extended modified individual period, in terms of we're going to scale back the intensity, and you just want to give them some things that they can take back with them and work over the week. But it's going to be low intensity. It's going to be more teaching. That way, when they come back, it's not like you have to slow down the whole group and teach them when we're on the grass.
You've gone through season after season, the off-season program. Sometimes it might get monotonous, but being around these youngsters with so much excitement from something as tedious as the minicamp, does that keep you young? Does that keep you recruiting?
I wouldn't say it's monotonous. I mean, the best time of the year is when our players are in the building. So whether it's rookies or veterans, it's always exciting when you get to work with your players. That's why we got into this thing, is to coach, and we all love the game of football. So I think there's a little bit more purpose behind your work when your players are in the building. It just feels more meaningful, and whether you're helping them on the field or off the field, it's just that personal connection is so key, and it's hard to do when you're away from each other.
Man, I know it's early. Obviously, they need to develop. But what does it do for your offense, bringing in a guy that can stretch the field like Matthew, and a guy that's kind of a move guy, line up anywhere, just getting the ball quick like Savion?
Well, we'll see. I mean, a lot of it's going to be dependent upon them and how well they pick up the offense, and how fast they can do it. And I think it'll all work itself out in due time. But obviously very excited about the talent that both those guys bring, for sure. Especially, being out there and just kind of being around them a little bit, and I love how serious they are about ball. And I can say that collectively, not that I know these guys that well yet. I mean, I've only been around them not even 24 hours, most of those guys, but they just, I can tell we got a group that I think loves the game of football, and they treat people the right way. And that was evident, just the feedback I got from whether it's our athletic trainers or whoever, just how respectful these guys are. And to me, that's a big thing. You gotta, that's what we're all about. We want to be first class.
And since the next work they get is phase 2, does that mean they go home for a while and then don't come back till when? I'm talking about the
Yeah, so they're going to go home this next week, and then we'll bring them back in on Sunday, whatever date that is. But they'll be gone for a week. And some teams don't even do rookie minicamp anymore. They just have them come in with the vets when that's allowed. Other teams will do it next weekend. I think it's important to try to acclimate them as fast as humanly possible, and I think it's a great, I guess, advantage of bringing them in early. That way, when they leave, they got a sense of direction of what they need to do and what's going to be asked of them when they come back.
But it's definitely different than the way you were doing rookie minicamp when you first got
Yeah,
here.
we were joking about that today. I think the first rookie minicamp, we had all sorts of drills out there, and I'll never forget, we had a couple of trash cans, and there were some guys leaning over the trash cans. So I'd say it's not a little different, it's drastically different.
I know we ask you about 4 quarterbacks every year, but I know the Canadian quarterback is here, and I'm sure you probably have
Yeah,
someone
Taylor?
else. Right. So would you like to come out of this with 4?
Whatever's best for our team.
Okay. Do you know anything about Taylor?
I do.
I obviously hasn't thrown a ball in a live practice here, but what are your early thoughts?
No, but we just did a workout with like our tryout guys, and he's got a very live arm, and you could see that on tape. It was obviously played at the Senior Bowl, and Vrabel got to see him there, and I think it was in the East-West game as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not so
Yes,
sure about
no.
that. Maybe it was, but
I know
it's
he was in 2 of the All-Star games. I watched the stuff from the Senior Bowl, and then obviously talked to Vrabel about that. We had him in on a 30 visit, so we got an opportunity to sit down with him. But another guy that loves football, and then just watching him throw just, an hour ago or whatever it was, he's got a live arm, so there's a lot to like about him.
Is that what you're looking for when you watch quarterbacks in a tryout situation, their arm, or are you really pushing him on scheme and
No.
how he reads?
I think you're just looking for traits at that point, Certainly, I think just coming from where he's coming from to this level, I think there's going to be a big learning curve. But if there's anybody that will attack it head on, Taylor will. And that was so evident when he was here on the 30 visit. And I know he's been working really hard at it. So I think even just talking to Vrabel, the strides he's probably made from the Senior Bowl to now has been significant.
What is Christian Watson able to do right now, and how does he look, or how are his spirits?
Well, he looks like a freak, like he always does, in a positive way. He's been great. He's been outstanding, just great attitude, and he's working hard. And that's really all you can ask anybody.
Matt, I'm sure Jason warned you that this was coming, but.
No, probably not.
No, he does his job well. It's my understanding Jair is not doing the on-field stuff right now. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Is that just part of we're gonna figure out what's going on here, and once we figure it out, then we'll move forward?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't have many updates in regards to where we are in that whole situation. I just know we're trying to work through it.
Your position coaches, to get ready for OTAs and mini camps, how much are they looking at their players, new incoming players, what they did in college to start detecting technique things that they want to make changes on? I mean, talk about their preparation as to what they want to address in the spring.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's an important piece of it is you better know who you're working with, and you got to try to identify their strengths and weaknesses, at least how you see it and how it fits within our scheme. So we do this with all our players, all returning players, any guys we get in free agency. We call them point of attack tapes. And it's, I guess, a condensed version, you know, maybe it might be 20, 30 clips, say, here's the things that we think you do really well. And here are the 1 to 2 things that where we would like you to focus on throughout the course of the off season. If you master that, then we'll give them something else. So, but I think you got to be careful giving them too many things to really focus on, because you'd like to see that growth, that improvement, just being intentional. And that was one of the things that we talked about as a team, is just how intentional we need to be throughout the course of these weeks, because in essence, we're 2 weeks short in terms of the face-to-face. So, but I think our coaches do a good job with that, and that is part of the evaluation process, though, especially after we get these guys, is to make those point-of-attack tapes.
For the rookies between now and when they're on the practice field with the veterans, how challenging is it to get acclimated to the playbook and learning that?
Extremely difficult, but everybody's got a different background in terms of what they've been exposed to. So I think some it can be a little bit more challenging than others. That's why, again, it's good to get them the information early. That way, when they leave here, I expect them to study, so that it's not just, you're starting over when they get here in a week.
2 more, please. Back to C.D.I. Williams, when you drafted him, you said your creativity is only limited by our imagination. So does that start
You
now?
like that, huh, Bill?
That was a great phrase, because I'm neither creative or the other thing. But does that start now, or do you just start with this is the plays and you'll get into that stuff down the
Yeah,
road?
I think you'd like to have it kind of. I mean, we do a lot of that stuff anyways within the scheme of our offense, in terms of moving people and put them in a different position. So that's kind of the starting point, is kind of, the stuff that you have done, or in the off-season study things that you'd like to do off of things that you've done. So, but I think in terms of where that goes, it's going to happen organically over time.
I know you coaches have spent the whole offseason studying stuff and adding things, but after you guys pick up a couple of guys like you did in the draft offensively, do you then go back and say, okay, well, maybe we should add more of this or that because of the skill set that those 2 guys have, or no?
Probably not right now. I think that'll, again, the more we're around these guys, see what they really do well. You always have an idea. I think it's an important part of it as you're going through the draft process, is you want to have a vision for how you would potentially use somebody. So that's just part of the evaluation, part of our process, whether it's free agency or the draft. And that's what you're trying to communicate to our scouting department, is, hey, here's how we would like, or here's how we would envision using this guy. But ultimately, I think a lot more of that's determined after the fact. When you get them in the building, you get to work with them on a daily basis. You see how fast they pick things up. Inevitably, there's going to be something that's going to surprise you in a positive light that they do really well, that you're like, oh, shoot, maybe I didn't recognize that just off the tape. So I think it's all about just that process of working together and kind of growing together.
Hey, Matt, Goody said a couple times during the draft about guys you picked that they went through adversity and came out on the other side. There's football adversity, and then there's obviously real life adversity. And Golden was telling us a little bit about what he went through as a kid. You've coached a long time. Is there something to having that grit or whatever it is that, yeah, there's going to be football adversity, but I've also been through a lot more stuff?
Yeah, I think it gives you perspective, number one. But I think, resiliency is key. And I think you see it, especially in our league or any competitive league. There's going to be moments of adversity, and there's going to be some struggle. And if you're not tough-minded, it's hard to make it through the other side of that. And I think we've seen it with our team over the course of 2 years. And as painful as it is, like in the moment, I'm talking more from a team standpoint, sometimes you're better for going through it. And I think that was evident a couple years ago.
On the flip side, it was the first time we met Brinson and John Williams, and they seem to have some pretty good personalities on them.
You probably know them better than I do.
I'm curious, your locker room is a tapestry of different personalities, right? Do Do you want to have some guys that, you know, there's some serious guys, as long as they're serious about football, do you want those guys that are a little more?
Yeah, I think we embrace everybody's personality. At the end of the day, I want these guys to be themselves. Obviously, you want guys that love the game of football, that love to compete. You want guys that are high character, that are team first kind of guys, and we're going to keep on, you know, talking about that stuff all the time to these guys. But yeah, I don't want robots. I want guys to be true to themselves. I think that's how they're going to maximize their ability and their time here.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.